From the silence of the wilderness of Sinai, the Lord spoke to Moses with a command that marked the beginning of Israel's transformation. Before they ever fought a battle, God counted every soldier. A census was taken of every man 20 years and older who was able to go to war. Tribe by tribe, family by family, the names were recorded: Reuben, Simeon, Judah, and the rest, until Israel stood not as a scattered multitude, but as an organized army. Leaders were appointed to help Moses, and what once looked like a mass of wandering former slaves began to resemble a nation moving with purpose. Every tribe mattered. Every man had a place. But God did not intend to dwell at the edges of their lives. He placed himself at the very center. The Lord commanded how Israel was to camp, each tribe under its banner surrounding the tabernacle, the dwelling place of God. Judah settled to the east, Reuben to the south, Ephraim to the west, and Dan to the north. Whenever the camp rested, God rested among them. Whenever it moved, they moved in ordered formation. Their arrangement became a living picture of what life should be, everything aligned around the presence of God. Yet one tribe received a calling, unlike the others. The tribe of Levi was chosen not for battle, but for nearness. Set apart for sacred service, the Levites camped closest to the tabernacle, guarding it, transporting it, and caring for its holy furnishings. Aaron and his sons were appointed as priests, while the rest assisted them in worship. God claimed the Levites in place of Israel's firstborn, declaring them his own. Through them, Israel learned that strength alone does not sustain a people. Worship and obedience do. Because some things were so holy that carelessness meant death, God gave precise instructions for moving the tabernacle. Each Levitical family carried specific responsibilities. Some bore the furnishings, others the curtains, others the structural frames. The most sacred objects, the ark, the table, the lampstand, had to be carefully covered before anyone approached them. There could be no shortcuts and no assumptions. In this, God taught Israel that his holiness demanded reverence. Walking with God required more than courage. It required deep respect for what was sacred. Since God dwelled among them, the camp itself had to reflect his purity. Anyone ceremonially unclean was sent outside until restored. Wrongdoing between neighbors required confession and restitution. Even hidden matters within marriage were not beyond God's sight. The message echoed throughout the tents. Holiness was not reserved for the tabernacle, it was the calling of the entire community. Integrity, justice, and faithfulness were the atmosphere in which God's presence remained. Still, devotion was not only communal, it could also be deeply personal. God introduced the Nazirite vow, a voluntary promise of special dedication. Those who took it abstained from wine, avoided contact with death, and allowed their hair to grow as a visible sign that their lives belonged wholly to God. Then Aaron spoke a blessing over the nation. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. With these words, God placed his name upon Israel. They were not merely organized, they were chosen, marked, and blessed. When the tabernacle was completed, the leaders of the tribes came forward with offerings. One by one, they brought silver, gold, and sacrifices for its dedication. Though each gift was the same, every offering was recorded, reminding Israel that no act of obedience goes unnoticed and no tribe stands above another. God's dwelling place was established through unity, generosity, and faithful hearts. Before the journey continued, God prepared those who would sustain worship. The golden lampstand was lit so that its light shone forward continually, a symbol that God's guidance never fades. The Levites were cleansed and presented before the Lord to begin their service, their duties balanced with seasons of rest. Worship, light, and service were firmly set in place, foundations for the road ahead. Then Israel remembered why they were free. They celebrated the Passover, recalling the night God delivered them from Egypt. And above the tabernacle rested the cloud of the Lord. When the cloud lifted, the people broke camp. When it remained, they stayed. Sometimes it lingered for days, sometimes for months. Israel did not determine their pace, God did. Day and night, his presence taught them patience, trust, and obedience in the wilderness. At last the moment came. Silver trumpets sounded through the camp, signaling movement, worship, and readiness for whatever lay ahead. Tribe by tribe, in perfect order, Israel set out from Sinai. Moses called for God to rise and scatter their enemies, entrusting the unknown future to the one who led them. After months of preparation, the nation was no longer standing still. They followed God forward, no longer wandering slaves, but a people shaped by his presence, arranged around his holiness, strengthened by worship, and guided step by step toward the promised land.